The universe is always working in your favor. The universe wants good things for you. And so if you want good things, you have to let go of all the bad things. All the things that give you anxiety. All the fears that you have. All the connections that are not good for you, you have to cut them away until you are the person who is happy and uncaring and playful and not suffering. We create problems, or we ruminate over problems because we're so used to suffering, and we just we keep telling the universe the same story. And so the universe can't move on from this lesson until you learn it. You could get to the blessings after you learn the lesson. After you already start to vibrate at the frequency in which what you want is vibrating at. You have to be the person that has those things. And so the universe is always responding to us and always trying to teach us. So learn that lesson, and then you can move on to all the great things. All the super light fun things. And then after you learn what that's like, then you're gonna learn new lessons, and there's something beyond that. Evolve or die. Because I guess that's why Jesus would call it everlasting life. If you follow me, you will receive everlasting life. Because that's truly what it is. Like, I went from fearing death and fearing being hurt and worrying about some imaginary thing in the future to being in the present and realizing that I am infinite. I am infinite, and I will never cease to exist because I have always existed, and I will continue to exist. There's literally nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. I chose to come here. I chose to come here and learn these lessons and help these people evolve, as well as myself. Help evolve myself. And I guess that makes sense why the universe is always expanding also, because consciousness is always expanding. God is always expanding. I love the fact that I can do this. That I can just sit here, contemplate this, all of this. And then you guys get to watch it. And you guys get to contemplate with me. And I feel like in the silences where I'm gathering my thoughts, I feel like you're gathering your thoughts also and forming your own thoughts, and and your consciousness is probably expanding, and you're probably coming up with ideas that I haven't even thought about, but I probably will eventually figure out. That's just so cool. It's fucking awesome. And then we created this connection. Like, all of us did, the collective conscience. We wanted to be able to reach each other. We wanted to feel less alone, and so we have the thing that's, helping with that. Sometimes I just have a lot of trouble formulating sentences because my brain is like, it's figuring a lot of shit out all at once. And for me to be able to actually articulate everything that's going on in my head right now is just I feel like I don't really have to either. Like, if you're really on this wavelength with me, and if you're really here present with me, just if you're here, that means we're, on some level, we're vibrating at the same frequency, or a similar frequency. We're on the same wavelength. We're thinking about the same shit. And we're just here to make each other feel less alone and present. Like, you listening to me requires you to be present. And we're here to help each other understand. That's such a beautiful thing. And that's so clear to me now. Like, we signed a contract to play these roles in people's lives. And however they perceive us, really. Like, you could be perceiving me in any way. Whatever I do is going to trigger a reaction, and somehow that reaction is going to lead to that person's evolution. And so, it's all completely out of my hands. I did my part. This is the role that I chose to play in all of y'all's lives. And what came to mind right now, I'm thinking of a negative situation that I've been in, a person that I was holding on to for a very long time, and I feel like our separations were divinely orchestrated, as well as our reconnections. And I just realized right now, like, no matter what I do, she is going to view me as a villain, or like, that's just how she wants to see me. And you know what? It's okay, because I know my heart, I know my intentions, and in some ways she's playing the villain in my life as well, and it has triggered a reaction from me, and that is, you know, I want to be heard more and understood, really understood, to somebody who will actually listen to me. And I also realized, like, you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink. And I have to let go. I planted the seeds. I said what needed to be said. I separated myself, and I'm sorry. You know, like, I know she was hurt by that. But it's what needed to happen. Because the situation wasn't good for me, and I needed to learn when to walk away. And what she needed to learn, who knows, right? But she's learning. We're all learning. And it doesn't matter. All these little, like, squabbles, like, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, as far as its purpose is really just to teach us, but we kind of give it so much weight, these things that have impacted us. And they're really there to just give you clarity about who you are, what you want, what you don't want, who you don't want to be. And your soul is just adjusting as it's observing all of this stuff. But we created this. Me and that girl, we signed a contract before we were even born. And I say signed a contract, I really don't. That's like the only way that is, it's like a good analogy for what it was. You know, an agreement. We made an agreement. There you go, that's better. I like that better. Me and that girl made an agreement before we were even born that we were gonna play these roles in each other's lives, that we were gonna go through this, and that it was gonna teach us more about ourselves and lead to our evolutions. And so then we incarnated, and there you go. Things are happening as they were meant to. Everything happens the way that it's meant to. It's kind of funny because me and her, while we were friends, before we ever had a fallout, we would talk about how she felt very connected to Athena, and I felt very connected to Arachnid. And if you know, so it's like a Greek mythological myth, right? And it's like what they named spiders after. I think I might be wrong. Anyways, so Arachnid, she was like making fun of the gods and showing people how they were not people to be worshipped, and they were, you know, raping women, and sorry, trigger warning, but that's what they, you know, that's what the myth said they were doing, and they were manipulating everybody, and you know, there's people starving and they weren't doing anything about it, and they're just up there drinking wine, eating their grapes. And she would paint that, or sorry, no, she would weave that. She would weave like tapestries of all of that. And so she ended up, like, obviously insulting the gods, and Athena came to like warn her, hey, you're insulting the gods, you know, like they're probably gonna do something about it. And she came as an old woman, and Arachnid, she was like, yeah, I don't I don't care, or basically I don't care, and I can do better than them. That's what Arachnid said. And and then Athena was like, oh, takes off her disguise, and Athena was like, okay, then I put you to the challenge, like, let's see who weaves better. And then so they end up weaving tapestries, and first they see Athena's, which is like super beautiful, right? And it shows the gods like up in Olympus eating their grapes, drinking their wine, and it was beautiful work. And then Arachnid was like, I mean, they say it was just as beautiful, but the message was showing all the gods and all the wrong that they were doing. And they ended pretty much in a tie. Well, who knows, because Athena got really mad that the audience was really loving what Arachnid did, and that they were basically saying it was equally as good as Athena's. And so she ended up cursing Athena. She, even though, like, she said, you know, good work, but I gotta curse you, I gotta smite you. You're gonna be a spider for the rest of your life and have to live in solitude. And constantly misunderstood. And yeah, Athena kept living a lie and always remembering that Arachnia, I don't remember what her name was, like, you know, the people loved her just as much as they loved Athena, and that was just really hard for Athena to accept. And so I can only assume that Athena went on, you know, with guilt of what she did, as well as, you know, just contemplating about why her ego, like, needs to be the only one with attention, or with favor, with you know, with love. And so, anyways, while we were friends, we were comparing ourselves to these two, and and it really checked out. Like, our whole story really checked out with exactly like what happened. If Athena and Arachnid were real people, I really think I would. Like, I really think that was me, because that's so me coded. Everything about that, like, you know, my ability to say I am God. I am God as a, you know, like, I'm a part of God, and you know, there's probably some other like big dog beings, you know, like these giant heads that are like, oh, she thinks that she's just as good as us, but she's fucking small. Like, ooh, that I have this smoke sesh, or I don't know if I ever made it a title, but I had this thought, and it's like, I'm a giant, but I look small. And it was just this whole vision that I had, and it's such a long story. I'll probably explain it later, but anyways, I am a giant, but I look small, and you know, I know I'm fucking powerful, and I'm kind of just trying to shed the layers that hold me back from I'm speaking so slow. My bad. Anyways, I'm already losing my train of thought. I don't even know what the point of this video was, but I hope you got something out of it. I did, and yeah, so much clicked right now, and I'm just gonna continue living on as a spider, and Athena will continue on living in Olympus like she is in her own head, and that's okay. And it is what it is. I'm not worried about it, and we could just continue living on. Like, really, like, once you've learned everything you needed to from a person, there's no reason to hold on to them in your life, you know? Like, once it starts being unhealthy, once the lessons start being really, really hard, then it's time to let them go. And that's like the last lesson, you know? So yeah, like, she fulfilled her purpose. I learned what I needed to. And we fulfilled our agreement. And so now we have an agreement. There you go. Now we have an agreement. And like I said, that is to help each other feel understood and seen and less alone. And that's just like such a good trade-off. Like, I wasn't making these videos while I was dealing with all that crap. And now that it's gone, I've cut the cord, I've shed that layer. Now I'm free to do this. I'm free to be here with you. That's so beautiful. Ah! Sorry, sometimes I just need to like let go of energy. But yeah, okay. I am pretty much done. I hope you have a great day. I hope that you live freely and that you shed the layers that you need to in order to live a better life, a happier life. Remember that everything is happening the way that it's supposed to. Everything is leading to your highest good. Everything is leading to you evolving. Just allow things to be. Allow yourself to be here in the moment. And you're gonna get the freedom that you're craving if you do all that. Like, and it's so easy, it's so simple. Like, you just, everything happens the way it's meant to. And once that really solidifies in your mind, oh my gosh. It's so amazing to be here. Okay, I love you. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.